Hey, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing real good. My name's Sam.
I'm
What's yours?
Jessica.
Good to meet you, Jess. Do you have any problems getting here?
No, we didn't have any trouble.
Good, good. Sometimes traffic's crazy.
No.
Can I get you something to drink?
I brought a water with me.
Awesome. Well, then we'll just jump right into it. My name is Sam Hamby, and I'm a social worker. I understand that you're here. You have to come because you've been court mandated to come and
Yes.
see me. We'll get into that, but I want you to know that anything that you say here today is strictly between you and me. Um, I don't want you to feel like you have to keep anything held back or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
That everything that you say is completely safe. That being said, if I feel like you may be going to hurt yourself or you might hurt someone else, then I'm obligated to tell my supervisor, and then we would have to take some sort of action from there.
Okay.
And that's really just a safety thing to keep you safe, and it keeps us safe as well.
Okay.
But I don't want you to think that you can't tell us anything like that. So if you don't have a problem with that, could you?
I don't have any feelings
Okay.
like that. So.
Okay. Well, good. If you don't mind signing for me.
Okay. And so, if you have to keep this confidential,
Mm-hmm.
how will this help me to get my license back and everything?
Well, I'll tell you. The courts have already stated that you have to come here and see us.
Mm-hmm.
So you're already making one step toward it. I mean, a lot of people, may feel like they don't have to come to these meetings, but the judge has already said that you have to.
So, but there's no way that you could just say that you don't feel it's necessary and kind of.
No.
So I'll have to come to all.
Right. Since the judge has already kind of sentenced that,
yeah.
you still have to come to all of them. And, and I'm hoping that in the long run,
Mm-hmm.
by coming here, it's more beneficial for you. I hope that maybe you feel like it's not just something you have to do. I hope that,
Okay.
this is going to be a good working relationship, and I hope you get something out of it.
Okay.
All right. We've got all the formalities out of the way. So why don't you tell me why you're here?
Well, I had an accident,
Okay.
and I just bumped the car in front of me, and it wasn't a major accident. It was just a little fender bender.
Okay.
But when the police came, I had to do a breathalyzer, and I blew over the limit.
Okay.
And so then they told me that I was being arrested for DUI, and they took me to jail. And so then I got bonded out, and then when I had to go back in a few weeks for my court hearing, I thought, well, we'll just get this cleared up.
Right.
And because it's a misunderstanding, I was not drunk. I'd had a few drinks at lunch with the girls, which I do. I have lunch with them and have a few drinks, like probably 3 or 4 times a week.
Okay.
And it was fine. I was not drunk at all. And so I thought we'd just get it cleared up. Well, I didn't know that they search your things when you go into court. So when they looked in my purse, I had a flask in my purse.
Oh, okay.
And so then the judge found out about that, and he felt like I had a problem. But I don't. I mean, I've carried a flask for years. So sometimes it has something in it, sometimes not, So it's not like it,
Right.
It just looked bad.
All right. Well, this is what let me see if I got all this. Sounds like you had an accident.
Mm-hmm.
You say it's a little fender bender. Can you explain to me?
There was no injuries,
Okay.
Mostly just paint and replacing a bumper,
Right.
that kind of thing. My car had more damage than theirs. They drove away. I had to get my car towed. And, I'm not blaming them, but they kind of stopped short. And it was
Right.
slick roads. It didn't, they, blamed that I was drinking, but it wasn't that. It would have happened anyway.
So it sounds like you had a relaxed there.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't any damage much to the other car, but
Mm-hmm.
yours was kind of totaled. And it sounds like you got arrested. You blew and failed your breathalyzer test. You
Mm-hmm.
were arrested, had to go to court. And then when you went to court, you had the flask on you. It seems to me, however, that when you tell the story, you don't feel like your body language doesn't tell me that you feel like you agree with what the judge
I
sentenced.
I really don't. I feel like that is a misunderstanding, and I feel like that it's been blown out of proportion.
Right.
Yeah, I really, and it's embarrassing, and
Right.
I feel really embarrassed.
Well, that's understandable. I mean, and that's a good place for us to start too. Is your feelings of being embarrassed. I'm just going to write that down in my notes.
Okay.
So we'll start from there. And what I want to do today is this thing. It's called an eco map, and a lot of specialists do it with their clients, and it kind of gives you an idea of the different relationships in your life. And you can think of it like a solar system with the planets revolving around the sun. You would be the sun. And so I've got one kind of printed out here, and we'll write your name in the center. And so then everything kind of evolves around you. And what I want to know is about different relationships in your life and how you feel, which ones are strongest, which ones need work, which ones are giving you a lot of stress.
Okay.
And so if you want to, we'll just start off with what do you think one of your strongest relationships is?
With my children.
Okay, so how many children do you have?
I have 3.
3? Mm-hmm. What are their names?
And they are Elizabeth,
okay,
Frank, and David.
And David.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And how do you feel like your relationships are with your kids?
I feel like I have a really good relationship with the kids.
Yeah, why don't you tell... who's the oldest?
The oldest is Elizabeth. She's in college. I have college, high school, and middle school.
Okay.
So
you really have them at all?
I do, yes. So she's in college, and then Frank is the high school student, and David is the middle school student. Okay.
So, whenever we're taking the eco map, a straight line would be a strong relationship. And the stronger the relationship, the darker the line would get. Mm-hmm. So your relationship with Liz, would you consider it a strong relationship? Or
I consider we have a really strong relationship. It's probably, I've had to learn to let go a little bit, with her moving out and going off to college. So that's, I don't think it's affected our relationship. It's just an adjustment.
And would you say there's any stress with any of your children?
I don't really think it's stress, no.
Okay. Well, that's good. That's great. That's a lot. What other relationships?
Well, of course, it costs money to go to college.
Yes.
The money might be a little bit of a stress for that.
Right.
Paying for college.
What other relationships?
I have my husband. We have a great marriage. We're happily married.
Well, that's good. That's really good. It's hard to keep a strong relationship with your husband. Yeah. I understand that. Sometimes there's stressors there. Do you feel like there's any stressors?
The only stress that I would say that my marriage has is that my husband works a lot, and he works long hours. He's a workaholic, and he travels a lot. So we just don't have a lot of time together. We spend a lot of time apart.
Right.
Yeah.
So when your husband's away, do you feel like can you tell if you are drinking more, or can you tell you're drinking less when your husband's away?
I probably drink a little bit more when he's away.
Okay.
Yeah. A lot of times I, go out for drinks when he's away, because a lot of times he gets to go to California or Puerto Rico or someplace like that, and I know he's working, but it seems like, he might be having fun, and I don't want to just be sitting at home. So, I'll call my friends and we'll go like to Applebee's or O'Charlie's and have a meal and some drinks and Okay. But I'm not getting plastered.
Okay, well, when you say plastered, what is your idea of plastered? Some people might think that plastered is 1 or 2 drinks, I'm fine. And then some people's idea of plastered is passed out in an alley.
Well,
where do you gauge
passed out in an alley? Definitely the plastered.
Right.
But I think, staggering. I don't feel like I get to the point where I'm staggering or making, poor judgments, really. Right. I mean, I get relaxed.
Well, that's an interesting topic, and then we'll come back to that. So, let me just say that it sounds like to me that you have a really good relationship with your kids,
Mm-hmm.
and that's really key. That's something that a lot of parents don't have. And it also sounds like your marriage at home, that it's really strong, that you're really happy, but that sometimes whenever your husband's out of town, you tend to get lonely, and
Yeah,
and then
I get
sometimes
bored.
that leads and
Yeah.
boredom.
Mm-hmm.
That's another good reason,
Yeah.
and that leads to maybe you drinking a little more.
Yeah, I do.
So, if what other relationships do you work?
I don't work.
No. So you don't work. How about friends?
I have friends, yeah, and I have a great relationship with my friends. That's probably my least stressful of all my relationships.
Well, good.
Is my
So
friends,
that's a good place to
Yeah.
be, that you've got strong relationships.
Mhm.
Do you feel like those are people that you can depend on
I do. Yes.
and talk to?
Yeah.
That's always a plus.
Yeah.
Because,
Now, I don't always, I don't put problems. If I am having problems, I don't put those on my friends. No.
do you feel like that they ever put problems on you?
A couple do, but not for the most part. No.
Okay. So what it sounds like you're saying to me is these are social acquaintances that you have a really good time with, but it's not really these aren't relationships that you really depend on, like as far as you can share with them.
No, I have just 2 or 3 that I, would rely on, or
Okay.
can find problems in. But for the most part, no.
Okay.
No.
Well, those 2 or 3 we could put in a separate bubble as well. So,
Okay.
We could have brought them down on a separate bubble,
Okay.
and those would be a stronger relationship.
Okay.
What other relationships do you feel like? Is there a relationship that you feel extremely stressed by?
My most stressful relationship would probably be with my mother.
With your mother?
Yes. And, I don't want to say that we don't have a good relationship or that I don't love her. It's just that I've always been the strong one in my family, and my mom's relies on me a lot. And so she depends on me to fix things,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll tell you, Jess, we're running out of time. So what I want you to do in the next week is I would like for you to keep a journal.
Okay.
And on our next visit, anytime you feel stressed or if you feel happy,
Mm-hmm.
Anytime you feel like you are having an emotion and you just don't know what it's for, you just want to write something down and jot it down, or you feel like it's pertinent to, maybe
Mm-hmm.
something that we can work on here.
Yeah.
Just write it down. But today, I feel like we've done I got to know you a little bit better. I feel like, I got to know your kids a little bit better. You're a great mom.
I appreciate you saying that.
Hey, it's a hard job. And I know you said you don't work full time or work and have a job, but I know that being a mom or a dad is a full-time job.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes a special person to do that. Also, we talked about your husband and your relationship with your husband, and that's a great relationship.
Yeah.
But that sometimes you feel a little lonely.
I just don't feel like any of this has anything to do with my accident.
Well, and I'll tell you, we might not cover the accident today, and this is just a beginning. We're just going to touch the top of things, but sometimes these things lead up to why the accident happened. Not necessarily the wreck, but why the drinking, and so these things will help you understand a little bit more. And in 6 visits, who knows? Maybe you'll understand why you were drinking, or
Well, okay.
And so let me just. We also touched on your mother and the stressful relationship that was there. And so next visit, I hope that I can see you again next week.
Okay.
And I appreciate you being here today.
Okay.
And I hope that we have a relationship where I can help you. And even if not, I hope that you can at least leave here knowing a little bit more about some of these relationships that we went over today.
Well, I appreciate your help, and I hope that things will get better. But I really just I don't really feel like it was necessary, but it was nice meeting you, and I'll be back next week.
All right.
And I appreciate your help.
Well, that's what we're here for, and I hope you have a great day. And
Okay.
I'll see you again next
All
week.
right, thank you.